You already know time isn't real, but therefore, you've grown accustomed to ignoring this unsettling truth, haven't you, my friend, as we sit here in this quiet room, surrounded by the faint glow of afternoon sunlight. The passing of hours, the ticking of clocks, and the cycling of seasons are all just human constructs, a way to make sense of our existence, but what if this carefully crafted facade is merely a distraction from the reality that time is an illusion? As we delve into this topic, therefore, it's essential to start with the basics, to examine our understanding of time and how it shapes our perception of the world. Time is a fundamental aspect of our experience, but therefore, it's also a concept that we take for granted, assuming it to be an objective feature of the universe, a constant that governs the flow of events. We use clocks and calendars to measure time, to divide it into manageable chunks, but what if time isn't an objective feature of the universe? What if it's merely a tool, a human invention designed to impose order on our chaotic existence? But, therefore, this raises a crucial question, one that has puzzled philosophers and scientists for centuries. If time is not an objective feature of the universe, then what is it, exactly? Is it a mere illusion, a collective delusion that we've all agreed to participate in, or is it something more complex, a multifaceted concept that defies easy definition? As we explore this question, therefore, we'll be forced to confront the possibility that our understanding of time is flawed, that it's based on a series of assumptions and biases that have been passed down through the ages. But, therefore, this is where things get really interesting, my friend, as we begin to peel back the layers of our understanding, to reveal the underlying mechanisms that drive our perception of time. We'll examine the ways in which our brains process time, the way it's woven into the fabric of our consciousness, and the ways in which it shapes our experience of the world. We'll explore the concept of time dilation, the idea that time is relative, and that its passage can be affected by factors such as gravity and motion. And, therefore, as we delve deeper into this topic, we'll be forced to confront the possibility that time is not what we think it is, that it's not a fixed, objective feature of the universe, but rather a flexible, dynamic concept that's shaped by our perceptions and experiences. But, therefore, this raises even more questions, doesn't it, my friend, about the nature of reality, and our place within it. But as we stand at the edge of this cliff, gazing out at the vast expanse of uncertainty, we're reminded that our understanding of time is not as fixed as we might think. Therefore, it's essential to consider the revolutionary ideas of Albert Einstein, who challenged our classical notion of time with his groundbreaking theory of relativity. According to Einstein, time is not an absolute quantity, but rather a relative concept that's shaped by our frame of reference. But what does this mean, exactly? Therefore, let's consider a thought experiment, where we imagine two clocks, one on a train moving at high speed, and the other standing still on the platform. As the train moves faster and faster, time dilation occurs, causing the clock on the train to run slower compared to the one on the platform. But this isn't just a theoretical concept, it's been experimentally confirmed, with astronauts on high-speed missions experiencing time passing slightly slower than their counterparts on Earth. Therefore, we're forced to confront the fact that time is not an absolute, fixed background, but rather a dynamic and flexible concept that's shaped by our experiences and perceptions. But what about the role of gravity in all this? Therefore, let's consider the case of a clock placed near a massive object, such as a black hole, where the strong gravitational field causes time to pass even more slowly. As we delve deeper into the mysteries of time, we're reminded of the words of the ancient Greek philosopher, Heraclitus, who said that, "No man ever steps in the same river twice, for it's not the same river and he's not the same man." But what does this mean for our understanding of reality, and our place within it? Therefore, we must continue to explore, to question, and to seek out new insights, as we navigate the complex and ever-changing landscape of time. As we stand at the edge of this vast, uncertain landscape, we begin to realize that our understanding of time is not just a matter of clocks and calendars, but also of our own minds. But how do our brains process time, and what does this mean for our subjective experience of reality? Therefore, we must delve into the psychology of time, and explore the ways in which our minds shape our perception of the past, present, and future. Our brains process time in a nonlinear fashion, with different moments and events becoming intertwined and overlapping in our minds. This is evident in the way we remember past events, with memories often becoming distorted or altered over time, and our perception of the present moment being influenced by our expectations and anxieties about the future. But what does this mean for our understanding of time, and our place within it? Therefore, we must consider the role of memory and attention in shaping our subjective experience of time. Memory and attention play a significant role in our subjective experience of time, with our focus and recall of past events influencing our perception of time's passage. For example, when we are fully engaged and focused on a task, time may seem to fly by, but when we are bored or distracted, it may seem to drag on endlessly. This is because our brains are constantly evaluating and re-evaluating our experiences, and our perception of time is influenced by the amount of attention and mental resources we devote to a particular task or activity. But what happens when our memories and attention are manipulated or distorted, and how does this affect our understanding of time? Therefore, we must consider the ways in which our perception of time can be influenced and altered. This can lead to distortions in our perception of time, with our brains creating illusions and biases that influence our experience of the world. For instance, the psychological concept of prospect theory suggests that people tend to overestimate the importance of recent events, and underestimate the importance of past events, leading to a distorted view of time and our place within it. But what does this mean for our understanding of reality, and our ability to make sense of the world? Therefore, we must consider the implications of these distortions, and how they impact our daily lives and our understanding of time. To illustrate this point, let's consider a thought experiment, inspired by the philosophical ideas of Bergson, who argued that time is not a fixed, linear concept, but rather a fluid and dynamic process. Imagine two people, one who has spent their entire life in a small, isolated village, and another who has traveled the world and experienced many different cultures and ways of life. How would their perceptions of time differ, and what would this reveal about the nature of time and our subjective experience of reality? But what does this thought experiment reveal about the complex and multifaceted nature of time, and how does it challenge our traditional understanding of this concept? Therefore, we must continue to explore and examine the many facets of time, and seek to deepen our understanding of this fundamental aspect of human experience. As we delve deeper into the complexities of time, we find that philosophers have long debated the nature of this concept. But what does this mean for our understanding of reality, and how do these philosophical perspectives shape our perception of time? Therefore, it is essential to examine the various philosophical arguments surrounding time, and consider the implications of each perspective. Some philosophers argue that time is an emergent property of the universe, arising from the interactions and organization of its constituent parts. This perspective suggests that time is not a fundamental aspect of reality, but rather a byproduct of the universe's evolution. But what does this mean for our experience of time, and how do we reconcile this view with our intuitive sense of time as a flowing, linear concept? Others propose that time is a fundamental aspect of reality, a dimension that underlies all of existence. This perspective is rooted in the works of philosophers such as Immanuel Kant, who argued that time is a necessary condition for our experience of the world. But what are the implications of this view, and how does it relate to our understanding of the universe and its laws? To further explore this idea, let us consider a thought experiment. Imagine a world where time is not a linear concept, but rather a fluid, relative notion. In this world, the passage of time would depend on the observer's frame of reference, and the laws of physics would be relative, not absolute. But what would this mean for our understanding of causality, and how would we reconcile this view with our everyday experience of time? As we continue to explore the philosophy of time, we find that these debates are not merely academic, but have profound implications for our understanding of the universe and our place within it. But what does this mean for our understanding of free will and determinism, and how do these philosophical perspectives shape our perception of the human experience? Therefore, it is essential to continue examining the complex and multifaceted nature of time, and to seek a deeper understanding of this fundamental aspect of human experience. As we delve deeper into the nature of time, we find that our understanding of this fundamental concept is further complicated by the principles of quantum mechanics. But what does this mean for our classical understanding of time, and how do the strange implications of quantum theory challenge our perceptions of causality and the flow of time? Therefore, it is essential to examine the concept of time in the context of quantum mechanics, where the traditional notion of a linear, one-way flow of time begins to break down. According to the principles of quantum mechanics, time becomes increasingly abstract and relative, dependent on the observer and the context in which it is measured. But what if we were to consider a thought experiment, such as the quantum clock, proposed by physicist Julian Barbour, where time is not a fixed background, but an emergent property of the universe? This idea challenges our classical understanding of causality, where cause and effect are strictly separated by a linear flow of time. Therefore, as we explore the quantum mechanics of time, we are forced to confront the possibility that our understanding of time is not absolute, but relative and dependent on the context in which it is observed. This realization has profound implications for our understanding of free will and determinism, as the traditional notion of a fixed timeline begins to dissolve. But how do we reconcile this abstract, relative understanding of time with our everyday experience of a linear, one-way flow of time? This is where the concept of decoherence comes into play, which proposes that the classical world we experience is an emergent property of the quantum world, arising from the interactions and entanglements of particles. Therefore, as we continue to explore the quantum mechanics of time, we must be prepared to challenge our classical understanding of causality and the flow of time, and to consider the possibility that our experience of time is but one aspect of a more complex, multifaceted reality. As we delve deeper into the nature of time, we begin to realize that our experience of it is not as absolute as we once thought. But what if our perception of time is merely an illusion created by our brains and the universe, a tool to make sense of our existence? Therefore, it's essential to consider the possibility that time is not an objective feature of reality, but rather a subjective experience that varies from person to person. This idea is not new, as philosophers such as Immanuel Kant have long argued that time is a way of organizing our experiences, rather than an inherent property of the universe. But if time is not an objective feature of reality, then what does that mean for our understanding of the world? We must consider the thought experiment of a world without time, where events are not causally linked, and the concept of past, present, and future becomes meaningless. The implications of this idea are both liberating and terrifying, as it challenges our traditional understanding of causality and the flow of time. But if time is merely a tool for making sense of our existence, then we must ask ourselves what other illusions we may be living under. Therefore, it's essential to continue exploring the nature of time, to uncover the underlying reality that shapes our experience of the world. As we navigate this complex and multifaceted reality, we may find that our understanding of time is but one aspect of a larger tapestry. But what if this tapestry is not fixed, but rather a dynamic and ever-changing landscape? Therefore, we must be prepared to adapt and evolve our understanding of time, to uncover the hidden patterns and connections that underlie our experience of the world. This journey of discovery may lead us to question the fundamental nature of reality, and our place within it. But if time is not an objective feature of reality, then what does that mean for our understanding of free will and the human experience? As we continue to explore the illusion of time, we may find that our understanding of the world is but one facet of a larger, more complex reality. As we delve deeper into the concept that time is not an objective feature of reality, we begin to realize that embracing this illusion can lead to a deeper understanding of the world around us. By acknowledging that time is a human construct, we can start to see the intricate web of relationships between events and experiences that make up our reality. But this newfound understanding also raises important questions about the nature of free will and the human condition, forcing us to consider whether our choices are truly our own or if they are predetermined by the fabric of space-time. Therefore, it is essential to explore the concept of free will in the context of a timeless universe, where the traditional notion of causality is turned on its head. The ancient Greek philosopher, Heraclitus, once said, "No man ever steps in the same river twice, for it's not the same river and he's not the same man." This quote highlights the dynamic and ever-changing nature of reality, where every moment is unique and fleeting. But if time is an illusion, then what does this mean for our understanding of personal growth and transformation, and can we truly say that we are the same person from one moment to the next? As we navigate the complexities of a timeless universe, we may find that our understanding of freedom and choice is fundamentally altered. The flexibility of time, in this sense, can be both liberating and terrifying, as we are faced with the possibility that every moment exists simultaneously, and that our choices are not limited by the constraints of a linear timeline. But this also raises questions about the nature of responsibility and accountability, and whether we can be held accountable for our actions if the concept of time is merely an illusion. To further explore this idea, consider the thought experiment of a person who makes a choice that has significant consequences, but in a timeless universe, that choice exists in tandem with every other possible choice that could have been made. This challenges our traditional understanding of cause and effect, and forces us to consider whether our choices are truly our own, or if they are part of a larger, predetermined tapestry. As we continue to explore the illusion of time, we may find that the more we learn, the more we realize how little we truly understand, and that the nature of reality is far more complex and mysterious than we ever could have imagined. As we stand at the edge of the uncharted landscape, the intricate weaving of reality behind us, we are faced with a profound realization: time is not what we think it is. The linear progression of past, present, and future, the very fabric of our existence, is but an illusion, a mere shadow of the true nature of reality. Our understanding of reality is fragile and ever-changing, like the threads of a tapestry that are constantly being woven and unwoven. The more we learn, the more we realize how little we truly understand, and the more we are forced to confront the limitations of our perception. The illusion of time is a doorway to new perspectives and insights, a portal to the unknown that beckons us to explore the depths of existence. As we step through this doorway, we find ourselves in a realm where the conventional rules of time and space no longer apply, where the past, present, and future converge in a swirling vortex of eternity. In this realm, we are free to roam the vast expanse of the multiverse, to explore the infinite possibilities that lie beyond the constraints of linear time. We can witness the birth and death of stars, the dance of galaxies, and the eternal cycle of creation and destruction that governs the cosmos. And yet, as we delve deeper into the mysteries of the universe, we are reminded of the impermanence of all things, the transience of existence, and the fleeting nature of human understanding. We are but temporary travelers in the grand tapestry of time, our perceptions and experiences mere whispers in the wind of eternity. As we stand at the edge of this vast, uncharted landscape, we are forced to confront the ultimate question: what lies beyond the horizon of our understanding? What secrets lie hidden in the labyrinth of time, waiting to be uncovered by intrepid explorers of the human experience? And so, we find ourselves lost in the labyrinth of time, forever chasing the threads of a tapestry that is forever unraveling.